What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, and I'm joined by Rachel Mogan.
Hey.
And Zachary Parks.
What's going on?
So, for this episode today, we thought that we would talk about games that we have a love-hate relationship with, and why that is. We're going to list off our top 3 of those games, or bottom 3, however you want to say it. But anyway, we just wanted to kind of share our thoughts on that and why, what makes a game, what about a certain game made it where we could not put it down, even though it drove us crazy. So, you know, we'll...
Yeah, no, I think that's a good description. I think that's a good description because it's like, these aren't games that I totally hate. These are games that for some reason or another I do love playing, but as I'm playing it, I can either A, get really frustrated, or I think there's a lot of poor things about it, but I don't, like you said, put it down.
Yeah.
And I mean, every game on my list I've completed multiple times, so it's certainly not that, again, I don't hate them to death. I'm not never going to play them again, but there are definitely those periods where you may have to step away from the game for an extended period of time if you just reach your limit and you just can't do it anymore. You have to take a step back and then come back to it later on once you've calmed down a bit more.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, same with me. I put hours into the games that I have on my list too, and it's just, you know.
He's making some hand gestures.
I'm making hand gestures. I really was starting to go somewhere on that thought, and now I just completely lost it. So, without further ado, let's jump right into the lists.
Okay, all right.
Because I feel like that intro on my part was terrible, but we're going to just go right on ahead with it.
We can do it again later.
We're learning as we go. We're learning as we go. So, all right. So, Zach, let's start with you.
Start with me?
We're just going to start with you.
Okay.
What is your number 3?
Okay, so I did this in order. I don't know about you guys, but my number 3...
He did this 5 seconds ago.
That is not
guys.
true. I just let y'all
5 seconds ago. He was
5
not
seconds
ready.
ago.
He's just pretending he was ready.
I am ready. It's all written down. But I did it in... I don't know why I picked this order. Maybe because I know my number 1's most relevant. But we'll start with number 3. So number 3 for me is Gears of War. And I played the first 2 Gears. I didn't play number 3, and I think number 4 is they just announced that it's coming out. I think that's right.
I mean, it's the first one that's titled Gears of War 4.
Okay,
but they've had
other installments.
Crap. What's it called? Because they had 1, 2, and 3, and then Judgment. I think Gears of War Judgment.
Oh,
but it focused on a side character, not Felix. Baird.
Gotcha. I think maybe that does actually sound familiar. But I did play the first 2, and for me, when I was like kind of thinking about this list, and I think about games that I love and also dislike to a degree, sometimes for me it's like the entire package of what they're selling. So when Gears like first came out, and it's a little hazy in my memory, but I remember like Cliff Bleszinski, who is I think head of Unreal, or at least he was at the time. I don't know if he still is. Came out, you know, they had such a show for this game, and it kind of went from 0 to 60 in like a second. I feel like this game came out and just kind of sort of changed the direction of Xbox and like third-person shooters and cover-based system games, which is all fine and great, but I've also felt like it was manufactured in a way, and you start to see that I think as kind of maybe as you grow up, it was manufactured in a way just to really hook people in, a little exploitative towards the gore, towards stuff like that, which was, you know, at the time was like really great for me. You know, I love that stuff. You know, I was like,
chainsaw gun.
Back in Zach's darker days.
Yeah, back when I liked to cut people in half. But the chainsaw gun, like this is the idea, like, yeah, it's really cool. And a lot of people talk about like some of the best video game weapons of all time. That is usually on there. The chainsaw gun. But you can also at the same time just be like, God, this is just ridiculous. Like just whatever it takes to get people to play and like cut people in half.
Yeah.
And that's fine, you know, and that's not, I don't want to harp on that and like totally downplay the game, because a lot of it, again, it's great. Like the cover system and the campaign I loved a lot. What pissed me off really the most was the multiplayer components of it.
Was this offline or online?
This was online. Okay. And most of it I did really love, but there was moments, especially in the first one, I think they might have nerfed it down. The second one was like the shotgun, for example. That weapon was so overpowered. And I don't think there's been a game in my life where I've been like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, I don't think I've said that more than with Gears of War, because people would just roll across the map with their shotgun just blast my face off while I'm trying to be tactical. And so that's a tough thing. And I think it's hard for games to nail this, especially games that are quote unquote tactical or team based. There's loopholes where if you try to do that, someone can exploit you, and like a single person can just not play like kind of the way the game's supposed to be played, and they can just totally fuck you up. And so that kind of happened with Gears. People found these glitches, these loopholes, not totally Gears' fault, but with the players' faults. They just managed to destroy me, and when I wanted to play how the game I thought was supposed to be played.
You're just so married to the chainsaw gun. You gotta branch out.
I know.
Get on board with the shotgun.
I know, you have to. And I have these like visual memories of like, I have like a pistol out, and a guy would like run across the map, chainsaw like ready, and I'd be shooting at him, and he would just eventually get to me and chainsaw me in half. And I'd be like, I'm turning my fucking system off, I'm done. It's bullshit.
I've seen a lot of that same kind of thing, and that's really pissed me off when I've been playing GTA Online.
Oh, wow, that's an interesting one. Yeah, because stuff like that happens in GTA Online.
I love the GTA Online, but oh my god, it drives me absolutely crazy when I'm trying to play just a death match, and there's one dude who's just running around and rolling.
Yeah,
they're doing the roll thing. You talking about it being in Gears is what made me think of it. They're just rolling around all over the place. You can't shoot them, and they just roll right up and just go.
I know,
and you're dead.
I know,
that sounds
and you're
like something I would do.
Well, you just feel like this isn't how the game's supposed to be played.
No, it's just somebody being a dick.
Yeah,
just running around like crazy. And yeah, I guess you can't really say they're cheating because they're not. The game allows you to do that. You can't say that they're not playing it right, because again, they are, because the game lets you do it.
Right.
Really, they're playing it the most correctly because they're winning.
Like, you don't want to sink to that level either. You're like, I'm not going to start rolling around. Like, that doesn't seem right.
I'm not that type of person.
I mean, I will use the roll strategically. I will roll when I need to dodge somebody coming in, but I'm not just going to run around the map just rolling everywhere and being like, woohoo, let's go.
Everybody knows it gets you across the map faster.
It does work, and that drives me crazy.
Right.
Because even with GTA, I like to turn off. I would love, and with any Rockstar games, I like to try to turn off the aim assist and just be like free aim. You cannot do that trying to play online.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because of people like that who just roll out, you're just done. Yeah. You can't even get close to trying to shoot them.
And so that the community sort of takes the game in another direction. And so I guess not a total knock on Gears, but that was something that I loved the game, and the campaign especially I really did like. I thought it was cool, and I remember there was a lot of hype surrounding it, but I thought it lived up to it. But the online really pissed me off. And the online's what I kept playing afterwards,
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think it would be on your list if it didn't have the multiplayer facet to it and was just a campaign?
I don't know. Maybe, because I still have some, I still feel iffy about the overall package of how the game was delivered and presented by the studio. And like, did I already say that Cliff Lindsay came out on stage with a real?
No!
Oh no, you didn't say that.
He came out with the stage with a real chainsaw assault rifle, and you just want to like roll your eyes and you're like, come on, like this seems so like.
Maybe he already had that at his house, and that's why they put it in the game.
Yeah, maybe
because he's actually a psycho.
This would be a good weapon. Yeah,
I've killed people with this, and it works in real life. Everyone,
blood comes out good.
No, yeah, that's what I remember too. When all my friends started playing Gears, because I felt like it was Halo and then Gears were the two Xbox games I was hearing about all the time.
Sure.
And yeah, that was the main thing that they talked about was, no, you get to cut these in half with a chainsaw attached to your gun. And it's just like, yes, it's awesome. And when I finally played Gears, I was like, oh,
it's satisfying. It is satisfying. So cool. It is.
But no, I get what you're saying. Yeah. That, it's just like,
I don't know what the right word is. Is it exploitative or is it over the top?
Probably over the top is what I say.
Like, it seems like they're just trying to get people to keep playing.
Yeah. Over the top, but awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. I know. Love, hate, man. It's there.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. Okay.
So, yeah, that was my number 3.
Nice.
Gears 1 and 2. I haven't played 3 in Judgment Day. When is it?
Yeah, Judgment Day or Judgment, something like that. I can't remember exactly.
All right, they're all looking at me, so I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
So my number 3, as resident Nintendo person of our little triad, it's definitely going to be a Zelda game, and it's going to be The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. So neither of them look like they have any idea.
I don't know what that is.
Like the blank eyes, they don't even know.
I don't even know. The Twilight Princess.
So my timeline may or may not be correct, but Wind Waker came out for the GameCube, and then the one right after that would have been Twilight Princess for the Wii. And then technically the next one would have been, I'm pretty sure I've got it right, that it's Phantom Hourglass. So Twilight Princess had nothing to do with Wind Waker. Phantom Hourglass is absolutely meant to be a direct sequel to Wind Waker. So when they first announced it, obviously as one of my all-time favorite games, I flipped my shit. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're making a sequel. And it's on the handheld system now. So it came out for the DS, and So, of course, I bought it on day one. And coming from being so strongly entrenched in Wind Waker, going to the direct sequel was difficult because obviously it can never really compete with your level of nostalgia for one of your favorite games. So a big part of my love-hate relationship for Phantom Hourglass comes from, I love it, it's a really good installment in the series, but compared to what I was expecting, the bar that had been set in my memory by Wind Waker, there was no way it could have lived up to it. And it still doesn't, because it's just not something you can overcome when something that you've grown up with suddenly has this little companion piece. And you look at it and go, you are not quite what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So, namely, the things that really were quite infuriating about Phantom Hourglass is they really did the atmosphere very well. Again, you're on the Great Ocean, so you have all of this big expansive map area to explore. It's got a great exploration factor, but bafflingly, the game mechanics were just, I don't know how they made the decision. So the DS, you have the stylus, but you also have the D-pad, and you also have the analog stick. They chose to make it to where you do not use the D-pad or the analog stick at all.
Only the stylus.
I
Your
remember
entire mode
this.
of fighting, of movement, of interaction is entirely based on the stylus, which after you get used to it, isn't that bad, but it's still never... It's just not the intuitive choice. So actually just today, I was like, I'm going to talk about Phantom Hourglass. It's the one I can play from my bed. So I'd better pick up my DS and play it again. See, just refresh my memory about what I didn't like about it. Immediately, I was like, why can't I move? Oh, because I'm trying to use the D-pad and the analog stick, and that's not how you play this game. So just from a sheer mechanical viewpoint, it was really different and really hard to adjust to, and it made the game a little bit wonky, just because when you're in battle, you're trying to fight people, you don't really have like a lock-on system. So you're just kind of swiping around all over the screen with your stylus, and at the beginning, I did not do well. I got better eventually, but it was really hard. It was just a hard adjustment at first. And then the game itself, in terms of really just the overarching story, I was very disappointed because in Wind Waker, there's the character Tetra, who is also, spoiler alert, she's also Princess Zelda. Whoa,
okay,
crazy.
Thanks for that.
I know, it's only been, 15 years? so Tetra is actually back in Phantom Hourglass. She's not actually Princess Zelda, she's Tetra. She's, she's a pirate. She's salty, she's swarthy, she's awesome. But in the very beginning portion of the game, the entire story that the game is based around is she gets turned into stone, per usual. So it's another... I was hoping so much that she would be a bigger part of the game and maybe even playable, and she wasn't. So that was really a disappointment for me, just because I knew she was going to be in it, and I was expecting, maybe she's actually your companion this time, Link's little person who's always there with him. Nope, turned to stone, immediately unplayable. Not even, you don't even interact with her at all.
Really? She just mentioned at the beginning, and then that's it?
So at the very beginning of the game, they find a ghost ship. And so you board the ship because Tetra's like, there's got to be treasure on there. And I'm like, shit, yeah, there's going to be treasure on there. Let's go get some ghost treasure. Immediately turned into stone. And it's just like, God damn it. Again, like in the first 5 seconds of the game. So she just immediately is out of the picture. So the game, of course, is you as Link and your other companion, Linebeck, who is really awesome. I love Linebeck to pieces. But it's just not Tetra, and it wasn't what I was hoping for. So in a lot of ways, I was just let down by the game. But it's still something that I've, again, played multiple times because it's still very enjoyable. It's still a really well done game. So going back to it after a few years of not playing it, which I do periodically for most of my games, it's always like, oh yeah, I do like this game after all. There are just certain elements of it that were a letdown.
I remember when that was coming out. I don't know if there's commercials or something I saw online, but like them doing the stylus and stuff. And I remember having similar thoughts. I was like,
how is that going to work?
Right. How could that? That's not where he can go into walls, is it?
No, that's A Link Between Worlds.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
I heard good things about
I will
that
eventually find a way to talk about that game.
Okay, I'm sure.
Not quite enough time now. I think that we should be moving on to Jerrett.
Sorry. No. I was just going to say, it sounds like what they were trying to do with the stylus was make it similar to the Wii, I guess, because you're not bound by the controller. You're using more of your own fluid motion, which is what they were trying to sell with the Wii. So maybe they were trying to replicate that experience onto the DS.
The only way that
but
it really worked is that for the map portion, when you were going to basically chart the course that your ship would sail, that was when the stylus made sense, because it would basically pull up a flat 2D map and you would literally draw out where your ship was going to go, and you could do crazy loops and go wherever you wanted to. So that made sense. I don't think it made sense for the entirety of the gameplay to be based on the stylus.
Right.
I think that would
it
get
should
very
have
annoying.
been diversified.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go next with my number 3, which is Assassin's Creed, but not necessarily any one Assassin's Creed. I'm doing this again. I'm choosing a series, not necessarily a game. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it every once in a
Good
while.
old
again.
Jerrett
It's not.
thinks.
It's no.
Bending
cheating.
rules.
Oh God, you had to bring that back up again.
I'm going to bring it up every time.
But no. So the reason why I have a love-hate relationship with Assassin's Creed is due to the fact that they are that they're annualized. That they're annualized games at this point. Because I played Assassin's Creed 1 and I loved it. It was super fun because I really loved that time period of the Crusades and all that stuff anyway. So it was really cool to get to delve into that time period and to see these ancient locations and all this in their time period. It was a very immersive world. And then Assassin's Creed 2 also was awesome and was better than the first one because it allowed you to do more things. You could open treasure chests and start buying, you could start buying upgrades for your base and all these other things. It was just a lot more. It really enhanced the gameplay. But then really since then, all the way up until Assassin's Creed 3, when they added in naval play, they didn't really change a whole lot. They would change minor mechanics. They would add small little things, but mostly the biggest thing that would change is your location and your character. And for a while though, they were still on Ezio, which is the character from Assassin's Creed 2. Okay, well, I'll take that back. They kept Ezio from 2, then they had Brotherhood and then Revelations, and then they went to 3. And then they changed characters from Ezio.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, I know they did some, what do you call them? Just like little side. They were full games, right? Mm-hmm. But they were just not focused. They weren't.
They were still
in the lore of
they still stayed on Ezio, so that way they didn't call them 2 or 3 or whatever, 3 or 4 or anything like that.
Right.
And so then whenever they completely changed location and store and character with Assassin's Creed 3, and did it during the American Revolutionary War. Then they changed the character. They called it Assassin's Creed 3, and then they added in the naval gameplay, which was really cool, and it was a great change. But here's the problem about them is that they come out so often that honestly, there's not really that much difference in between any of the games.
Yeah.
Now, see, even when you're listing all of these games, I'm going, aren't there like 20,000? Because I feel like I see new news about, this is the new Assassin's Creed all the freaking time.
Well, because as soon as the one comes out, 2 months later, they're teasing the next one.
Sure.
And the problem that drives me crazy about that is that it's the same studio that makes them.
Is it Ubisoft?
Yeah, it's Ubisoft.
Yeah, and I like Ubisoft.
I love Ubisoft. I play so many Ubisoft games.
Me too. I've clocked in a lot of hours.
Do you think their employees are like sick of Assassin's Creed? Do you think they're sitting there making them do installments going, not again?
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty or any of these other things that come out so frequently.
But see, Call of Duty has it figured out, and I think they're doing it the right way, where they separate each. It's annualized, yes, but they share the load between 3 different studios.
That's right. You're right.
Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and
Activision? Does that even exist anymore?
Activision, I think, is more of a distributor right now. Okay. I'll fact check that, but yeah, it's Treyarch. Damn it, went blank. But anyway, they keep theirs between 3 different studios, and so that way, there's the third. There's one studio releases, like Treyarch's about to release Black Ops 3.
Right.
Then next year there'll be another studio, then the second studio, and then it's Treyarch's turn again.
Right.
And so they're able to really, in between each one, push the boundaries and deliver new, exciting, actually new and cool features. Mm-hmm. Whereas Assassin's Creed, it just goes on. It's the same story. But here's why I have the love-hate, or it's not the same story. It's the same idea. But here's why I have the love-hate about it, is because even though that's the case,
I
still am going to play it and still going to buy it. And
that gotcha.
Because again, it's for me. I'm a sucker for that, for history, and a sucker for that time period. So anything that's going to make me feel like I'm fighting knights and all this other stuff
at
is I'm
this
going to
rate,
go crazy
though,
about.
eventually they're going to make it to like the 1990s. And you'll be
Yeah.
fighting your
Yeah,
way
'cause this
through
new one-
dance
Seriously.
clubs.
Seriously.
This next one that's about to come out is Victorian London.
Oh my
So
god, they're
it's-
running out of
yeah,
history.
they are.
They
They're
are.
catching up to the present pretty quick.
And so now I'm actually behind. They came out with Unity, which last year they did even something even different. They came out with 2 at the same time. They came out with Assassin's Creed Unity for PS4 and
Which
or
I
for
played.
all systems.
I did play that one.
Was it good? I haven't played it yet. I have it.
I played as
You started the first
I've
mission.
Played missions.
Well, and then, and that was the big deal when that one came out, is that there were so many glitches about it. Like sometimes the character models would be completely off.
Oh, I saw those. Like their eyeballs
It would be
were-
the eyeballs
like
and
no
mouth just
skin.
floating there.
Yeah,
No skin,
yeah.
no face.
Well, that sounds like an improvement. That sounds like fun.
Making it cool. It's not a glitch.
And of course, the main argument with that was everyone was just like, well, they have to rush it out and they have to hit this deadline. So yeah, there's going to be glitches. Well, then stop trying to hit this deadline.
Seriously,
Right.
Make the
just
game
space them
good.
out.
I know.
Oh,
that's a whole conversation.
that's a whole nother conversation.
It is,
Exactly.
but I totally hear you.
But still, regardless of all that and regardless of my complaints about it, like I said, right now, I'm actually behind. I haven't played Unity, Rogue, and Syndicate. And so, I'm going to be behind on those for a little while. But still, regardless of how I feel about how they choose to annualize their game and how they make them, yeah, I'm still going to give my money to Ubisoft to play Assassin's Creed. So that's why it's in my number 3 on my list of love-hate.
That's a good one.
All right.
So my number 3, coming back to me.
Your number 2.
My number 2.
You've already done your number 3.
I already did my number 3. I think I messed up last time when I said that too. I'll never get that.
Wait, what'd
down.
you say last time? Number
I
2?
think I said number 2. No,
Zach
you're
is
on your
all
one.
over
Yeah,
the
you're on your
map.
number 1
He
now,
has
Zach.
no idea what's happening.
My number 2 is the original Mario Party for N64.
Nice.
I've never played any of the other Mario parties.
Because they're up to like 10 now.
I think
You're
so.
really
I
behind.
think so. Yeah, I know. I'm really behind. But I played and loved the first one. I clocked in a lot of hours on the original Mario Party with all my friends from childhood. That was like our
Nice.
game. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I loved it. I played it all the time. And all my friends loved it. But I know myself, and I'm sure all my friends also hated it because of a multitude of things. And I kind of compare it to Monopoly, I'd say. There's just so many arguments and ways that there could be your friends sort of screwing you over.
Yeah, it's a real test of the friendship.
It is. And there's like specific game types that come up, like chance time. And there's one where there's like 3 blocks above your head. And you hit the first one and it lands on like Mario's head. And I'll be Mario. And then the middle one is like Mario gives all his stars too. And then the right one, it's like Yoshi. And it's just like... And you don't have control over that, but it'll make you like pissed off at your friend and stuff. So,
Yeah.
But other than that, like there's so many great things I can say about it because like the mini games are awesome. The whole design, all like I've said before, Nintendo, the whole design of it is like it's really fun. It's like adorable. You're on these like different maps with all the miniature characters, but there's so many moments like that can occur where there just seems like there's a misbalance, I guess, and you can just
where like one person has all the good luck the whole game and you keep getting the short end of the stick and it's just really frustrating.
Right, you can land on a space and everything goes to shit. And your whole world's
The
crumbled.
turnaround is so quick.
Yeah, and so there's stuff like that is obviously it can make you hate it too. Just
Right.
when things kind of feel out of your control, I think people can get pretty frustrated, especially when they're playing a game and they're holding a controller that's quote unquote supposed to control this character, and you don't, and things can get out of hand very quickly. It can spiral very easily.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really kind of all I have to say about Mario Party. I've never played the other ones. I do love it, and I do see them coming out. They look silly to me. I don't really have any interest.
Yeah.
I think there's something about the
played-
original that I think, A, is nostalgic for me, but it's B, it just seems like the most simple. And I think they always try to maybe add new stuff that just keep it simple, like they did with the original Mario Party is kind of
Some of the newer ones have been fun. The most recent one that I've played was 9. And it is fun, but I'm not... it just, it wasn't the same. So
it's when you have friends over that play video games,
yeah,
it's a
if
good
you're
option.
looking for something to do together and
Yeah.
you're like, which of my friends am I ready to end it with?
Right.
You
Let's test this
let's just bring
relationship.
up Mario Party and
Yeah.
get this over with.
Well, I'm going to then really quick, if you're done with your number 2, I'm going to go ahead and jump to my number 2.
God.
Sorry, I'm going out,
reversing the
but
order.
just because it's very similar to his. My number 2.
No, I like it. We're switching it up.
My number 2 is Mario Kart, the original 64.
Okay.
Okay, see, there's the
there's-
connotation,
Okay,
there's the
okay.
tie-in,
Yes.
there's the tie-in.
Yes. Very
So the thing is with Mario Kart now, I love Mario Kart.
Yes.
Why I hate it?
I know,
love
like, is
Mario
there
Kart.
any person that's going boo Mario Kart?
Why I hate it is because compared to everyone else that I've played against, I am terrible.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
It is a personal problem. It's absolutely a personal problem, but still, that makes me have this very strong love-hate relationship with it because our friends will come over. We have it on the N64. We don't have it on any newer systems, any of the newer models, or anything like that. And so, whenever my wife and I's friends come over, and we'll bust it out and be like, "Hey, let's play some Mario Kart." And same thing, the same 2 or 3 friends will always win.
Yeah.
Whenever my wife and I play it, just the 2 of us, she will always win because that was just her shit when she was a kid. That's what she would play. And so I didn't have an N64 when I was growing up, and so I would have to go and was only able to play really when I went to friends' house. So all these people grew up with this lifetime of experience. And if I play anybody on any other multiplayer game, like current multiplayer game, something like that against people, I'm really good and I can hold my own.
Right.
Mario Kart, it's once in a blue moon, I will win.
We have got to play the newer ones.
We
Like,
should.
we
Yeah.
definitely-
I heard the new one's great.
The new one's
amazing.
fantastic.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I've played the demo and stuff, and it's
If it
fantastic.
makes you feel any better, I'm not very good either. So
Well,
like,
it's all
maybe,
relative,
you
man.
have
Like,
a
how
chance.
are you good at Mario Kart? I understand.
It's all about the turns.
It is
You gotta,
all
like,
about
hit
the
I
turns.
know, and if
turns
someone can
just
do the
right
jump
with
and they get the boost, yeah, that's
accelerators.
annoying.
Yeah,
I
no.
know.
And
But,
so for people who really know how to do that, me, I'm just driving and trying to not
sure,
trying
put
to
my
stay.
blinker on.
Yeah.
You know, once I'm taking the next turn.
Because my problem, especially with racing games, is I just go all out, and it takes a lot for me to remember, like, oh no, I actually do kind of have to brake and slow down on turns, or else I'm not going to make this turn.
Right.
But my
it's not Forza.
Yeah, exactly. My first impression is just to gun it and just go, because that's how I'm going to get there faster. But so because of that reason, that is the only reason again that I have a love-hate relationship with it. But that being said, I love it.
Yeah, I know, and I
it's
love
super
fucking
fun to
Mario
play.
Mario. Yeah,
And
Even if you never win, you're
Even
still
if I
gonna
never
play
win,
it.
I'm going to have a fun time.
And the worst
Right.
is when, like, you almost think, like, for a while you might be in 3rd place.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Third's an
I'm
interesting
gonna
place to
make
be
the
in Mario
leaderboard
Kart.
for once,
And
and
then
then
comes a
no,
shell.
just kidding, last
Right.
place. You're
You almost
definitely
want
in
to be in
last.
last place in the last lap, so you get like a lightning.
Yeah, you
and then
get
you're
all
like,
the
I'm
best
gonna
blue
stuff.
shell
You
and
go
all that
first
other
to
stuff.
last in a second. That
Oh,
game.
yeah.
It's just like, well, that's not fair at all.
Yeah. Well, and then too, what also drives me crazy is when you're playing the 2-player, or even when you play by yourself and you play the faster speed things, and you're
Yeah.
playing it against just the computer and everything. It drives me crazy, especially Toad.
Oh yeah.
Toad will pass me all the damn time, and I'm just like, you were in 6th 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, I
Why
know.
are
What
you
happened
ahead
here?
right
You're so
now?
small.
I know.
He's very
And to play-
aerodynamic too,
yes.
like with his circular
He
head.
must be.
Yeah,
And to
it
play
makes
Toad's
sense.
turnpike is a nightmare too.
God.
That level is difficult.
My favorite is always Rainbow Road. Like,
Rainbow
Really?
Road is good,
because
but
That's a
even like when you go
brilliant game.
shooting off into the depths of space, it's like, oh well, this is just a
Well.
new adventure. I'll just
die.
become an astronaut.
but no, for that reason and that reason alone, just that I'm just not very good at it, but it's still a hell of a fun game to play.
It is.
All right, well, since we're talking about Nintendo, and since those
You
are
are
like
the Nintendo
90%
girl.
of all the games I've played, I swear one of mine is a Nintendo game. We'll get to it in a minute. But this one is going to be love-hate relationship with Pikmin 1. So the very first installment
played
of the
that.
Pikmin game. So hopefully Zach remembers like more or less the mechanics, because for no one that's ever played Pikmin,
Kinda.
it's more of a strategy game.
Yeah.
So you are this little dude, Olimar. He's about the size of like a AA battery. And the whole premise of the game is he's in his spaceship. He's having a good time, I guess, on space cruise. And like things go wrong. He crash lands on this alien planet. And because he himself is an alien, he can't breathe oxygen. His ship has broken apart on entry into the atmosphere, and so he's like, holy crap, if I don't reconfigure my ship and build it all back together within 30 days, I'm going to run out of oxygen and die. So
But it's all packaged very cutely.
it's all packaged.
It
Right,
sounds
isn't it-
very
That
intense.
sounds really dire.
Isn't it-
Olimar is adorable.
It's all in like plants and stuff, right?
So Olimar, he lands on this alien planet, and in order to help him reconstruct his ship, he discovers these little native creatures called these little critters called Pikmin,
slavery.
and they're like these little tiny. They're as big as Olimar. They're super small and adorable, and they come in 3 colors in the first game. There's red, blue, and yellow. And so the strategy component is each of the different types of Pikmin is really good at something or really bad at something. So like the red Pikmin are fire resistant. So if you ever run into a fire-based puzzle, obviously you want a ton of red Pikmin. If you're in water, blue Pikmin, duh. If you want, I think in the first game, don't the yellow Pikmin do explosives?
I don't know.
I think they've got bombs, which is awesome. So yellow Pikmin can handle bombs, and like they've got really good aerodynamics, so you can throw them farther. So my main love-hate portion with just this first game comes from the time constraint. So this is actually something that didn't really come up in future games, which I thought was a big improvement. But in the first game, you had exactly 30 days, and certain things had to be accomplished on any given day, because at night, you have to go back up into the atmosphere, or the native creatures, which are what you're trying to kill dead to get your ship back, will eat you. They'll kill you and steal all your Pikmin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not the actual Pikmin. They don't turn on you.
No,
at
the
night.
Pikmin, actually, there's one creature that makes your Pikmin insane, and they do turn on you, but that's for later in the game. So having a time constraint on a game, like nothing is more stressful to me than like, oh my god, and like at the top of the screen for every day of the game, there's like a meter that's like, hey, here's how much time. So like there's just meters on meters of time, like you've only got this much time left in the game, this much time left in the day.
Yeah.
So a big strategic component is restarting days. So like if you played a whole day and got nothing accomplished, found no parts of your ship, all your Pikmin died, you get to
which can happen.
Yeah, which
they turn
can
like
happen.
little
that
ghosts.
Can happen.
Right?
Yeah, they
Don't
turn into little ghosts.
Yeah.
They scream as they die.
God.
It crushes your soul. So that we're getting to that. So a big part of this game is objectively, it's really easy. If you didn't care about the well-being of your Pikmin, you could play that game no problem. They would all be dead, but you would be successful. So the thing is, because it is such an easy game, the internal challenge of a gamer like me is, well, this is a really easy game. I've got to make it harder.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the people that will play no-kill runs. So a no-kill run is if even one of your Pikmin dies, you start the day over.
Interesting.
You cannot progress. And I've done this for all the games so far, and it's hard.
It does
So
sound hard.
the love-hate component comes from, do I really want to do this? Is this really, I mean, because there are certain levels that are so hard. I've restarted just one level, just one day, 50 plus times because things just kept going wrong. Either things kept going wrong or the thing that I was trying to accomplish didn't happen in that day. And in the Pikmin 1 game, obviously that's an issue. So a lot of it is just me reflecting inward and going, why am I doing this? And then I look at my little Pikmin's faces and they look at me like I'm their god. And I'm just like, no, I'm doing the right thing.
They have to live.
This is correct. So it's just a constant internal struggle of me going, this is bullshit. I shouldn't have to do this. And then going, no, this is definitely the correct course. This is right. So it's definitely love-hate. And if it weren't for how adorable the Pikmin were, I'm sure it would be a lot easier.
It's funny. There's a when you're talking about the no kill rule. I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 5 right now, and it's like Splinter Cell or something like these stealth games. And if you go in, you get a huge bonus for not even like shooting a weapon or like getting anyone's attention. Obviously,
Yeah.
no kills or anything like that. So
That's
you
great.
can,
I love stealth mode.
Oh, it's all. I mean, it's a really great game. But
Very
I
neat.
do love putting that same sort of rules on myself when
Yeah,
I'm playing.
obviously
like no
that's
kills.
not a mode in the game.
No, it
It's
just gives you a
mode
bonus,
in my
you know?
mind.
Right.
I'm making my
I
own
want to
mode.
play the best way possible.
Well, something like that for me, normally what I'll do is I'll try my best to do the stealth mode. And then if I alert one guy, I'm just like, I'm going out in a blaze of glory.
It's what it's all, you know, just
Let's do
That's
it.
the
Let's have a
danger-
good time.
That's
Can't
the
be any
danger with
witnesses if
Pikmin
there's no
because you're
witnesses
like,
alive.
if you get to the end of the day, maybe you've only lost one Pikmin and you're like, should I restart? I only lost one.
dare I hit it?
I've got 500 Pikmin on reserve. Does it matter? So it's
That's your
just
internal.
it's all in the soul.
Yeah.
It's very, very rough.
All right, so I think I want to throw it back to your number one
Oh, God.
because I think Zach and I our number ones are
Jerrett will
you
have
guys
like
have
the
a
same
shared
thing.
Yeah,
game.
we have an overlap.
must
We
be
have an
nice.
overlap, so I feel like instead of just breaking up that conversation, we might as well keep it all in
Also,
one.
I'm so upset, listeners, because Jerrett originally, Jerrett Banks, was like, no, one of my games is going to overlap with your game. And I was like, sweet, we'll finally
Which
have
one?
something to talk about. We're getting to it, Zach. God.
Be patient.
Jesus, watch the movie.
But then he's like, oh, no, it actually is this other game. Just kidding. So, anyways, my number one, which probably could have been the only game that any of these people have played that I have also
Who are
played,
you people?
is Dark Souls for the
Yeah.
PlayStation
Oh, you
3.
almost had Dark Souls
yeah,
up there.
so
I played a little bit. Man, all these games I just play like barely a bit.
well, Dark
There are a
Souls
lot
you
of
would
games
have a
out
good
there.
excuse.
There
Yeah,
are,
there's
there
a lot of
You
games
gotta
out
choose,
there.
pick and choose where to spend
And
your
with
time.
Dark Souls in particular, there's Pikmin and Phantom Hourglass, and the vast majority of the other games that I've played over my lifetime are objectively, they're always on easy mode. It's like Zen mode or easy mode. It's not challenging. I'm just playing for fun. With Dark Souls, for me, it's a huge break from what I normally play in that it's not a first-person shooter, and it's not a game that Nintendo made, so why would I be playing it?
Why did I find
And
this?
it's really, really hard.
So
The
hard.
difficulty,
So
if no one
hard.
has ever played Dark Souls, the difficulty level of Dark Souls is intentionally made to be incredibly hard. So just in terms of how many times I have had to rage quit the game, it's number one for a very good reason for me. So primarily, hopefully, Jerrett may or may not have gotten to them. Hopefully, did you finish the game?
Oh, I'm not anywhere near close to finishing the
God.
game.
Dare you ask me that?
Oh my god, okay, well, there are really two main bosses that I had so much struggle with, so many restarts, so much dying. It would be an optional boss, which is my own fault for being one of those people that wants to get all the stuff in the game.
I
do
will
all the
100%
things.
complete this game, damn it.
Yeah, so the optional boss of Knight Artorias, did you ever get to him?
I've not got to him.
Oh, okay. So Knight Artorias, he's awful. He's horrible. He's really, really fast. So as a boss, he's much more humanoid than a lot of the other bosses you face. He's just like a big knight that used to be this super awesome dude, but then evil corrupted him. So now he's obviously trying to kill you, and
Yes.
he's the bad guy. And he's so fast. And the character class that I usually choose is typically not fast. I'm usually like a barbarian or a knight or something, big, strong, all
Yeah,
that
that's
good
me too.
stuff. And so I'm usually really slow. And I rely pretty heavily on things like projectiles for bosses that are really hard like this. So the biggest problem with this particular fight in terms of having to fall back on projectiles is at a certain point in the battle, periodically, so this will happen more than one time, one of Knight Artorias' moves is he will surround himself in this power-up aura, and if you don't break his concentration fast enough and stop him from completing this mysterious aura, he will become even more difficult. He becomes super powered, super OP, and so he's even faster. He does even more damage. His range is even longer, and it's just, if he actually gets to the point where he's OP, you have no chance, or at least I had no chance. So
you have to stop him
so
from
you
doing
have to
this.
stop him from doing this, and most of your projectiles are
not
not
near
fast
strong
enough, and they're not powerful
So what
enough.
do you do?
You're meant to run at him, beat the crap out of him, and then he breaks his concentration, he goes back to being normal and still just as hard.
Right, still really hard.
Obviously, I was sucked at that entire sequence of events, and it didn't occur to me to just, hey, maybe you should stand close to him the whole time. No, I'm not going to do that. So it was infuriating. But that's just Knight Artorias, arguably the boss that I struggled the most with, and a big part of what made the game so hard would be the Four Kings. Did you get to the Four Kings? Jerrett.
Jerrett didn't play.
No, I played, but like
lying.
I was telling you about this when we were talking about this episode and what we want to talk about in this episode. That
I'm so disgusted.
for like I played for 5 hours or more, going the completely wrong way
Oh,
at the
yeah,
beginning
that's
of the
Jerrett
game.
was like extra bad. See, this is why Jerrett
Completely
Banks
the
is a
wrong
really
way.
good nickname for you.
Oh God!
So, anyways, recap the four knights. Really, the
four of
biggest,
them?
yeah. So well, you would think so. So the Four Knights is a unique boss in that you have to go. Well, it's not a unique boss. You have to go to a specific area of the game to fight the four. I'm sorry, the Four Kings. Is that what I said?
The Four Knights.
Oh no,
Four
it's the
Knights.
Four Kings. It's the
Oh,
Four
the Four
Kings.
Kings.
Okay.
My bad. So the Four Kings. So you have to go to the Abyss to fight the Four Kings. The Abyss is nothing. It's just a big black void, and once you drop down into it, the Four Kings will appear. So you're just fighting these giant, they look really, obviously they look like, almost like nerve cells kind of. They're really weird. They don't look like kings at all, but they all wield very, very long range weapons. Again, if you're a big, slow character like me,
You
that's
guys
not
gotta
helpful.
pick, like,
I
wood
know,
elf,
I have to,
you
I
know?
really,
That's what
next
I
time I
always
play, I
am.
have to pick a different class because it was
Pick
not working
something
out for me. But so it's a really difficult battle in the first place because the Four Kings, there's obviously four of them. So you're trying to fight these four different entities all at the same time. They're constantly circling and moving. So you think you're doing okay. And then right in the back, you get just the tip of one of their swords. And it's like insta-kill. And so you're just like, super, that's just great. Because then you obviously have to restart.
And you go back to your
You have
campfire.
to go back to the campfire. So this is where things got really annoying because just getting to the Abyss is so hard in and of itself. Like you have to go so far just to get to the Abyss. And I cannot count the amount of times that I got really stupidly killed by just regular skeletons.
Yeah.
Just regular old skeletons because it's a really hard game. Even the things that aren't really bosses are still really hard. So it's just, well, I can't even get to the boss to fight him because I keep dying on the way to the boss.
Right. And if
so
you do
it
get
was
there,
just
you'll
layers
die.
on layers of difficulty, and just I had to take a breather, maybe just drink some tea, try to calm down,
Just a
come
game.
back to it
Just a
later.
game.
Yeah, no, that's what drove me so crazy about it too, is because of that exact same thing. It's just like I got to the boss, but I got hurt so bad by everybody else on the way
That
here
you don't
that I
even
don't
have a
have any of
chance.
my
You
things
got
to
no
refill my health.
chance.
So damn it, I might as well go all the way back to the campfire,
Yeah.
refill my things, and run it again because I know I'm just
Hope
gonna
I don't
die
get
from
hit
these guys.
by any enemy on the way there because they do so much damage.
Because if
with
I'm going to
just one or
die
two
and lose
hits.
all my souls, which I need to be able to power up, I don't want to lose my souls and then die, have the risk dying again, trying to recollect my souls when I'm fighting the boss. So I just I'd much rather die by the hands of an easier opponent than just go into a boss with, I have no way to refill my health.
Yeah.
This is suicide.
That's the whole game. The whole game is suicide.
This is suicide.
It's just, well, why I should just stop.
Yeah.
So
That's why
hate because you love it. I love the difficulty. I love actually having a real challenge, and then you get to the challenge and you're like, I hate challenges. I don't like to
reconsidering my
be
life choices
challenged.
right now.
I'm going to go play Pikmin. Oh wait, I have all these other rules about that game too.
hard
Just
too.
kidding.
Yeah, no, Dark Souls is incredibly, and that's what I've heard from anybody the guy who told me about it is just like, you're going to want to pull your hair out. And I was like, yep. As soon as I played the first day I played it, I was like, yeah, that's an accurate
I mean,
assessment.
I know plenty of people that played the first level a little bit better than Jerrett did, and even they were like, no, we're done here.
Well, because it doesn't, there's literally nothing that tells you, most games, you'll have an objective marker on your map.
Yeah, with Dark Souls, if you've never played, there's no
nothing.
direction. They
No.
don't let you know what's up.
That's
You're
what I'm
basically-
saying.
Yeah,
I went to the wrong area and was struggling for hours to get through this area.
you're just on your own.
Because
going the right
I
way.
thought I was going the right way. It seemed like the most easiest path, but actually no, the path I should have taken is right around this bush that's completely hidden and you really can't see it unless you're right on top of it, and that's the way you should have gone.
Well, it's your own bad for not exploring properly.
I thought I did. It's just like, that's
That's
what
Dark Souls for you.
No, Dark Souls, it's punishing. It's so punishing. But no, you're right.
It's famously
It's
punishing.
famous.
famously
That's why
punishing.
people play it. That's everyone that plays
And apparently
Dark Souls hates it.
Apparently its predecessor, Demon Souls, is even harder.
Oh God.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
and so
no, it is. I didn't play.
I
My
got-
brother played Demon Souls, and I looked and watched him play it, and I was like, he's better than me at video games. If he's
game
dying this frequently, I stand no chance.
That's honestly why I didn't get it, because it's just at some point I was just like, I have other things I have to do. As much as I would
have a
love
real
to spend my
life
whole
and
time in
goals
this
and
game.
dreams. I have
can't-
things to accomplish.
It's just like I feel like it would be something very similar to that South Park episode where they go and they're playing the World of Warcraft episode,
that's great.
where they're spending this whole time just trying to power up enough to be able to kill this one boss. And they do it, and they're just like, okay, cool. What?
See, with Dark Souls, you're never going to be ready.
What do we
There's
do?
no point at which you're ready.
Have you beaten it?
I beat it once.
Oh, you
I haven't
did?
been able to
nice.
beat
That's
it again.
impressive.
That is impressive
So
enough
it
in
took
its
a
own.
lot. It wasn't all at once. It took many months.
But that's what I mean.
Of coming back to it.
But that's what I
because-
mean. If that's how I feel I would be with it. I would just finish it and be like, never again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take
so
it
like
away.
I've restarted
Snap it
to
in half.
try to be different character classes because obviously the way you play the game dictates how easily it's going to go. So my strategy next time is I'm going to be way more lightweight. I'm going to be like a thief or something spry.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have like what's the class called where you're really good at like praying? Like clerics,
Yeah.
something like that.
Like actually prayer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more.
that's a
It's
big
like
thing in
holy
it.
power. There
Yeah.
we go. So it's like holy power, divine power, which of course is really good against certain types of evil.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another boss that would be particularly helpful for. I'm not actually sure if it would be good against Four Kings, which I should probably check up on before I decide to replay.
No, I'm with you on that. I always like in RPGs, like Dragon Age, I could be the mage, I could be the rogue, but no, I'm always going to choose the knight because I just like
I
that,
always
that class
choose
better.
this like the wood elf that's good at archery. You know, that's always been my thing. It's
Long
funny.
range, man. That's a
Yeah,
good
long
strategy.
range.
I just like the
Except in
cool.
the case of Knight Artorias. where you have to be really close to it all the
Which
time.
that will just backfire completely.
But
Don't
really
do it.
backfires. Don't do that.
No, I just like having the cool armor sets and the big swords and stuff like that come with the knight, the warrior classes and those kind of games. So that's
The danger there
the
for
only
me is
thing.
if I feel like my armor and weapons don't like look fly enough.
Yeah, you're a
Even
little
if it's the
disappointed.
next level up, and I'm like,
I'm gonna go back to my old
But
armor."
I look so much cooler in this worse
Yeah.
armor. It's like, do I want to go out in style? Do I want to
Right.
die looking good, or do I want to
Like this
succeed
damn
looking
That's
That's a real
like
conflict. I
trash?
hit that
No,
as well.
I have that
in
too.
the
I've done that.
RPGs.
I've done that
Destiny
playing.
has
yeah,
that for me.
I've done that playing.
Well,
playing
what's the
Dragon
point
Age.
if
I'm
I
like,
can't look super
Right.
fine
I'm like, this
the
is a
whole
great
time?
helmet, but fuck, it looks stupid.
dumb as hell.
This hairstyle, it's awful.
Shit.
Okay. Yes, Dark Souls is an incredibly hard game. We all hate that game. But let's move on to another one that I think equally. If there's a camera, you would see me pivoting.
I was about to say he's turning towards
pivoting
Zach,
to Zach.
Jared,
Because-
signifying how I'm kind of locked out of this conversation.
You'll be a part. You can
because
ask
You'll
me
be-
I
you'll be a
questions.
part of
able to
it. I'm
make,
just
like
kidding.
witty quips.
It's just like I'm in the middle of the table and they're on the other side. So I'm just
Yeah.
sitting here and I was engaged with Mogan on that one. So I was pivoted to her. Now I'm
turning
pivoting.
to
3
Zach.
point
Pivoting. Here we go. Another game that I think
Yes.
equally, not to the near the extent, but equally has a very large group of people who hate it,
Yes.
and it's both of our number one. Is Destiny.
Yes. I think
Let's
that
talk.
makes sense.
Let's talk about it. Let's
talk.
talk about Destiny for a little while.
It's been what, a year since it came
just
out?
Yeah, they just hit their year one. They just released their first bit. Like they've had the smaller expansions.
If you want to call them that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of extra levels and stuff like that. Nothing, the Dark Below and House of Wolves.
Yes.
And now they just came out with their first like legit big expansion
next game. Yeah, it was
basically Destiny 2 is kind of how they're
Right.
looking at it with which I think there will actually be a Destiny 2, but for right now they're still just rolling with Destiny.
yeah, well, that's
but
an interesting
The
question.
Taken King was just released.
Right, and you got it.
I got it.
Well, let's stay away from that for the time being.
Right, because we'll
haven't
circle back
gotten
around.
it.
We'll
Yeah,
circle back
we'll
around.
come back to it. Let's just start with the game when it came out. Just the initial Volume 1, Year 1.
Yep.
And because I didn't even get any of the expansion packs either. That's how. I mean, I got off board pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, and you're someone that probably has clocked in a little bit more hours than I did.
Yeah.
Even though I bet you we're still at the same. We hit the same level.
Oh yeah,
I think
but,
a lot of people did.
everybody had to lock in
I
and
didn't
peak.
stop-
I mean, unless you got
right,
you didn't get the expansions. I don't know if you could
Yeah,
level
maybe
up if you
my
didn't get the
light-
expansions and
I
stuff like
couldn't get
that.
as high. Perhaps, yeah.
I
probably you're
don't
right.
know how that
You're
works because again, this is the extent of my love hate with it. I still bought everything. That
Sure.
came.
Well, I know. And trust me, I'm tempted, and I really want to get the Taken King. But let's just talk about what you really like about Destiny right off the bat. Like, what works for you?
What really works for me in and of itself is that it is a great first-person shooter with
Yes.
that it really well incorporates role-playing game qualities.
Mm.
It has the promise of you're playing the game to get loot, which
Right.
that will attract anyone and keep anyone involved. If you know that there's the possibility of getting something bigger and better if I just play longer,
I know, but that's the tough thing. Even right there, other games that I've done that with, there's an incentive and there is a engagement and some sort of story or a reason for doing it. In
Right.
Destiny, I felt empty inside for trying to get the loot and clocking in more and more hours. I'm like, what am I really working towards? Just, like for other games, it's more integrated into the story, I think.
Yeah. You stumble upon, as you get farther into the game, you happen upon better gear. And you're just like, oh, this is awesome. But no, that's where I agree with you too. That's where it backfires. And that's where the majority of my love-hate with it stems from, is that I played so damn long in that game.
Yeah.
And I would just get shitty guns, shitty armor.
Right.
And it's just like, and the only ways to really get the good stuff was to do the raids, Vault of Glass and Crota's Inn.
But
I've never played the raids.
Why?
Because they do not have matchmaking.
Yes. Boom.
You have to have a group of enough people that you know and are friends with.
Seven or six?
Six. You have to have
so
six.
6 friends.
You need
Who
five.
has 6
five
friends?
including
Just to participate in a raid.
Who has
just to
five
do
friends?
these raids.
Nobody.
To have the
Who
biggest
has 5
chance.
friends?
I think you can do. Now you can take off, or you had to be at least level 26 to do it in year one to do the first raid. You had to be, which was Vault of Glass. You had to be level 26 to do it. And then, yeah, you had to have friends to do it. I think you could, once you hit level 26, because I actually did. I started it completely by myself, but I'm like, this is going to be a waste of my time.
The raid? You did it by yourself?
I started it.
Right.
But I was
How
like,
far
this is
did you
going to,
get?
I didn't even go very far. I just wanted to see if it was possible to play
Sure.
it by yourself. And it was. But no, to do it but I think some of it locks it in where you have to have multiple people at certain stages to be able to do certain, like to unlock a door. I'm not, again, because I haven't played it, I'm not completely sure.
Yeah.
But no, that is so restrictive.
I know. And
Like
in
would love to play it, but no, I don't have 6 people in my gamer buddy list
And
that,
what if
that
they
are going to
live
be
in
on
different
all at the same
time
time.
zones, all
Sure.
that good
And the
stuff.
flip side of that coin is I have a group of 3 people, really solid people that I constantly play with online. So there's 4 of us. And when the game first came out, I don't think multiplayer wise, God, I don't know if we could do any of the because it was all teams of 3. I'm thinking of Control. I'm thinking of
No, the Crucible you could do. You didn't have to have a set fire team to do. Some of the
but it was 4 of
there was
us.
a strike. There was the strikes, the Nightfall strikes. You had to have people to do, and that one was 3.
Well,
And
I'm thinking that I had too many people. I couldn't do certain things. Like I couldn't do the 3-on-3 matches that was like the hardcore mode or whatever. And there was like there was control, but I think that's 5-on-5 or 6-on-6. But there was something about not having enough people. Like you can only have 3 people in your fire team, right?
Yeah.
So the 4th guy got left out constantly.
Yep.
So there was some confusion about, I don't know.
Am I in this round? Yeah.
I don't know if we were able to play together when it first came out. I'm sure maybe they fixed that since, but I do remember vividly that there would be too many of us to do most of the things.
Right.
Which is the flip side of that coin. Either you have enough or you don't have too many. You
Right.
know?
And really, like, if there's not a logical middle ground there, it's just so hard to deal with.
And it's like
Well, there's a
I
lot of
understand.
baffling things that
I
they did.
understand the point of not having the matchmaking in the fact that you're not going to get stuck with somebody who just does not carry their weight. You're going into it with a group of people that you know you're going to be able to do it.
Sure.
But that's so restrictive when like me, I knew at the time when it first came out, I had 2 friends who
Right.
played it enough, but they were able to play it more. And so they were level 26. Like one time I remember I joined a buddy's party and he had some of his friends on and they were going to do Vault of Glass and they were like, oh, you're only level 24. Sorry.
An article recently came out of a guy. I think he must be a video game writer. He must write about video games. But he was the title of it. I kind of skimmed through it. Well, no, I kind of read the whole thing. But it was why Destiny makes me feel so alone. He got the game a lot later than most of his friends did, and he felt so left out and left behind with all this stuff they're talking about, all this stuff they're doing. And so it's interesting to get a take of somebody that just would purchase Destiny now, where they would be in kind of a lot of, because I feel left out. I mean, I stopped playing and a lot of people kept leveling up. They even Crota, like the god that you kill, and now the other one that comes, like I'm not up to speed on so many things, which is my fault, but it's because the first volume or whatever you want to call it lacked any sort of, for me, engaging story.
Yeah.
There was nothing there for me to sink my teeth in. There was a lot of ambiguity about the darkness and about these alien races that you don't get any information on, which bummed me out compared, because this is Bungie we're talking about, who made Halo one of my favorite series of all time, and you get such great backstories about who you're fighting, their weaponry, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so cool and it's so interesting. And this, they just kind of leave it out.
Well, and it just came out. It just came out as part of, I believe, the fallout of having to deal with a lawsuit from Martin O'Donnell. No, Michael.
Not the musician Marty
Yeah,
O'Donnell.
yeah, Marty
the
O'Donnell.
musician.
Because remember they fired him,
Right.
Because he was let go.
Yeah.
Like they fired him without cause, but he won his lawsuit against it. But during the proceedings of that, it came out that the story of Destiny did go. It was supposed to be released a year before it was.
Oh, okay.
But when it was getting up to that, like, no, we want to change some of the story. And they like completely redid a lot of the story.
Yeah.
And I think that's what led to a lot of the issues where people are just like, this story really blows. And the story did blow.
It did.
Like, I'm not gonna hold back about that. It really was not that good. It was not really engaging. You just went, you shot a bunch of guys, and you listened to Peter Dinklage talk to you.
With like even going against AI enemies that are like, you do like a free roam on the moon, which is something you can do. You can go to the moon and you can do a free roam. How easy is it to just kill thousands?
Because
of
they
enemies?
don't level up comparatively to you,
right? And even
because
if they do, I don't even think they're that hard. Like nothing. I never felt like this is a difficult thing. And granted, I never did the raids, and I heard those really tough. But
the raids are apparently very hard.
But they sound like they take like 9 hours to do. They sound like crazy, weird, and tough. Like they don't sound.
You have to set aside a huge chunk of time to do it.
Yeah,
Like I've heard some people like
puzzles.
it taking some people to beat Vault of Glass like 5 or 6 hours.
Right.
I'm
Oh my
like,
God.
I don't have that.
Give me a middle ground, please.
Yeah.
Like either too easy or like, okay, you guys went hard. Here you go. And it's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You asked for it.
You asked for it.
So that is honestly where it came up because now here we are, Taken King, year 2 of Destiny. And I actually just posted on Facebook the other day. I was just like, hey, Destiny friends, I really want to play Vault of Glass and Dakota's End.
Destiny.
And it's that way with the raids and Trials of Osiris. That was the new mode that came out with House of Wolves, where it's basically three member teams, 3-on-3 teams, and it's round-based elimination. So it's you go and you play it, you kill the whole other team, you won that round, and it's the best out of 5,
that
I think.
sounds fun.
It looks awesome, and you get like sweet rewards from that too.
sounds fun.
So I went to play it the first one, House of Wolves came out. Sorry, you need a fire team.
Yeah. You don't have any. Yeah.
And so it's now the cool thing is that the Bungie, the community, not the Bungie, the Destiny community, the people who play it, they saw this as an issue, and then they set up their own like websites and forums where people looking to finish these things can meet up with other people looking to do the same. And again, so yes, that is partially on me that I did not do that and have not done that yet for this year 1. But at the same time, it's so hard to find that much time.
Yeah, I was about to say,
exactly. You shouldn't have
such
to.
a high barrier to entry.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
that's an issue for me with a lot of games is just I shouldn't have to do this much work just to
Exactly.
play the game.
Right, I know, and that's a huge thing with it. And this game had a lot of hype coming out. The budget for it was enormous.
But you think about what it is. It's like it's basically it's a role. It's similar in style, I guess, to like Warcraft, where you're playing in this universe where people can just jump in anytime, and you're playing against people from all over the place.
Which is a great concept and a great idea, but there's something wrong with the execution there. I don't know what it is, but I still feel like when I'm wandering around, it's just like every now and then I'll run into somebody. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. There's somebody doing something, but like we never hook up. Like we never let's be on the fire team together. Like that stuff like that doesn't.
You would have to
happen.
wait. You have to wait for public events to happen, which are randomly spawn things,
And
and then it's
even-
then it's not like you're forced to take part.
Right. No, you don't have to. Even though when I was playing it when it first came out, those were very rare. I heard they made them more frequent. Because they're cool when they did happen.
Oh
Everyone's
yeah,
like,
and you'd
let's
get some
do
nice
this.
rewards and stuff. You'd get some like legendary materials to be able to advance your stuff, and so it worked out really well. But no, that was the biggest thing, and the biggest cause of my love-hate behind Destiny is that I felt like I had to do so much to grind away and just toil and toil and toil trying to get good stuff, but yet knowing that there was some stuff out there that other people had that I could not get.
Right.
Absolutely,
Even if
just
you
could not
had
get
this
it.
stuff. It doesn't. There's only the Iron House or Iron Wolves is the only place in multiplayer where it actually makes a difference, right? There's
The Crucible?
The Crucible.
Yeah, the Crucible is the multiplayer.
Yeah, but the multiplayer, most of it, they all get evened out. To my knowledge,
Yes,
and there's
yes.
only one game type that comes around.
The Iron Banner.
The Iron Banner, where it actually does matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're doing the campaign, you can use the cool weapons. But like I said before, I don't think you have to.
No.
So it's just.
I mean,
it's
unless
almost
you
like
choose to level up to make it really hard.
Yeah. Okay.
Once you beat them, you can go back and replay them, and you can up the difficulty level,
which might be worth it.
And they really help too in the nightfall strikes, the strikes that they have, the weekly strikes, and then the daily strike or whatever that they have. It's really helpful there because the nightfall strikes are hard. If your whole fire team dies, you start over.
No.
Sucks.
And it's in.
I like that stuff though. No,
That's fun. That's really that you have to have that much, and
like
like it makes the really intense battles that much more intense.
exactly.
And
I need
then.
that.
But then that was also with House Wolves that I really like. 'Cause they added the Prison of Elders, where it's basically you just go through these different stages and fight different waves of enemies. Those are really fun because you got some cool gear out of that. But now they came out with year 2. What's kind of annoying with that is year 2 gear is going to be better than year 1 gear.
Right.
So
all
now
that's
at this
like
point, there's really
void.
not even that much of a big reason for me to go back and play the Vault of Glass and Crota's End, only for the fact that I want to do it just to get the story out of it. Because I know you kill Crota, and that's the big deal of Crota's End. Right. But now Taken King is like referencing that and everything.
Right. And I'm really far behind with all that stuff.
Exactly. And so, which now is cool because now they're packaging it. You can buy, the Taken King at the store if you buy the digital copy or the digital and or in-store, physical copy of it. And it gives you Destiny, Dark Below, House Wolves, and Taken King. And it's only $60, so that's awesome.
And
oh, wow.
What's great about Destiny is the moment-to-moment gameplay is actually fun. I mean,
it's tons of fun.
It's tons of fun. I mean,
I was about to say, it sounds like there's nothing good.
I know. I want
to
to make a point. Yeah, there's a lot of fun things about it, and it does a lot of things well.
Yes,
but it doesn't do one particular thing excellent. And it's something like that because they try to be an RPG, they try to be an MMO, they try to be a first-person shooter. They're kind of merging all these things, and they kind of hit a good level with a lot of it, but there's just a feeling of what is this game?
Right. But I will say I love the multiplayer, the Crucible, and
it is fun
because I get my ass handed to me in there on a regular basis. But it's so difficult, and it's just like whenever you have that one round where you do really well, I'm just like, oh yeah, that was fun.
It is fun,
and you just got to keep playing it again. I will get new games and play them for a few days, and then be like, oh, I'm gonna play Destiny real quick, just like on my lunch break or something like that, and I'll sit down and play it, and then just be hooked into Destiny again for like a week, and just be like, man, I got to get back into the Crucible and just do better.
A lot of fun about it. Even like I remember loading it up on my Xbox when I got it for Xbox One. The loading screen, the artwork, and the whole
it's a beautiful game.
Yeah, the music, it's gorgeous. The whole ideas behind it. I wish it felt bigger. You know, the planets don't even feel that big to me, but. And there's so many things that I see in the artwork, like during that loading screen or whatever, that I'm like, where is that? Like, does that exist? Because that looks really cool.
No, it does a lot of things well. It's a very beautiful game and all that, but it just had basically the big thing of not. It's supposed to be this huge community based game.
You don't feel that,
and there's just not. You don't. They made it very difficult to have the community behind it. You can run up to people in the social areas and be like, invite them to your fire team, and do that. But then you're hoping that the other person is going to be like, yeah, I got time to take down Crota.
Right. If they don't have 5 to 6 hours to set aside in their day.
All this being said, Destiny is number 1 for that because I just literally cannot stop playing it because of all the things that
a great
game. It is such a great game with some very huge things that are wrong with it.
Right.
They seem to be really. But the great thing about it is Bungie has been really good about listening to the community too. When they and making small changes through their patches and as the game has gone on, and then now it seems like they made great strides in making the game fantastic. With the release of Taken King, so I'm really interested in seeing how it goes.
I'll be curious if
you should get it.
Taken King. I feel behind.
You should get it.
And I think do I really want to re-enter this world?
You should. Yeah, you should. I think you should.
Okay.
I think it's worth it.
I just bought Metal Gear though, so I gotta go through that. That's a great game.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of Team Chat Podcast. Thanks for listening in, and we will be back shortly in the next couple of weeks with another episode. So stay tuned.
Peace out.
See y'all.
Hey, this is Jerrett, and I just had a couple notes before we sign off on this episode. If you have any questions or comments about the episode, please feel free to email us at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter and ask your questions there at teamchatpodcast. Also, I just wanted to let you all know about our Patreon page where you can go and subscribe. It's at patreon.com/teamchatpodcast. That's patreon.com/teamchatpodcast. And you can go and subscribe and you'll get some cool perks like getting the episodes early before the general release, as well as some other content that we'll be giving out. We appreciate your support and we hope you'll keep coming back for more episodes.